Okay, welcome to what should hopefully be quite a short video. Short, I mean 10, 15 minutes. We're going to be looking at um, computer science higher. We're going to be looking at how we can use functions and parameters inside Python. We're going to be making use of Thonny. Okay, Thonny is our IDE that we're going to be using. I'm using an older version of Thonny. I'm using version 3.21. Which comes with Python 3.74 installed as part of it. They're up to Thonny 4 now, but this is what the school's got, so we're just going to use what's in front of you. All right. You'll see that I've first of all created this Python program, and the Python program we're looking at here has the following. I've got internal comment at the top with the name of the program, my name, the date. The date's in the UK format if you're looking for it anywhere else. So this isn't August we're doing this in, this is September. We're going to start off with a couple of things. First of all, the way that Python works, Python has a global space. So basically what that means is if you create anything at the top level of the program, it can be seen in all functions underneath that. Now, the problem that has for us is part of the SQA's higher computing is we have to demonstrate parameter passing. So if we just don't use a main function, then what will happen is anything that we create will be able to be seen inside, and at some point you'll make a mistake. So to force you to do it properly, what we do is we do def main, pass, and down the top here, we call main. Okay. And all that does is your program now is going to be written in here, and that's going to make that part of the local scope here. All right. So anything I do here is not executing the main program. It's executing only when this main function has been called. So let me show you what that does. So if I take out this pass and put in print, I'll just stick in the old hello world and run it. You'll see that hello world appears underneath. Oh, let's put it further down. You're just running like an absolute dog. Why is it not working? Let's try that again. Okay, well, let's assume that I'm going to have to trim that bit out. No idea why my computer's running. I'm guessing that there's something updating in the background, but we'll go with that. But you can see this hello world works. So how does that actually work? Well, as we run the program, so if I go down here and do variables, as we run the program, the Python interpreter is doing the following. Okay, so I've hit for debug the current script, so it's going to show me what it's doing now. So if I simply go def main, you'll see it's now created an association with main to be a function at this memory location. So when it goes down here and it discovers this unknown command, it first of all checks, is it a command? Is it a built-in function? Or is it a user-defined function? And all it's going to do is when it discovers a user-defined function, it's going to call that user-defined function. That user-defined function is going to move up to the top and display, as we can see it here. And now if you look, we've got local variables and we've got these variables here. But because we've not got any global variables, we don't have anything. So we can't pull information in from the global space because there simply isn't any information in the global space there. So if I step over this, it will now display hello world and the program will exit. Okay, so that at its very simplest is how a function works in Python. Now, in SQA for higher computer science, we talk about procedures and functions. A procedure is basically just a subprogram. It's got a list of executions. We can think of this main procedure. Okay, so I can put up here main procedure. Okay, and a function is something that returns a value. So let's have a wee look at what we're going to do today. So what we'll do is we'll just create a little program which is going to take in two numbers, perform a calculation on them. Okay, so take in two numbers and perform a calculation. Right, so let's give myself a wee bit of space here so I can see what we're actually doing. Right, so let's first of all do that. So how are we going to do it? So first of all, we're going to get number one. So let's create some variables. So number A, number B, number A is going to be equal to get number. Okay, so get number is going to be our first function. So we got up here, we're going to def get number. And we could just put a pass in there just now, just to test it, in case we got any wee typos, anything that's not quite right. So when I run it, I should get working fine. So you'll see now we've got two defined. We've got the function get number and the main. And that's good because that's exactly what I've got. So get number, so let's go print. Please enter a number. Oops. Number equals int. I'm just going to make this get an integer. Okay, so now what happens is it runs and it'll say enter a number. I say 12. Done. Okay. Now you might think to yourself, well, that's perfect. That's doing exactly what I want to do. It's getting a number, it's storing it in number A. Right? And that's exactly what I want to do. But if we debug it, we're going to see that we've made a mistake in this program. So let's quickly debug it. And I'm going to basically step over some things. Okay, I'm going to step into this. So, okay, so step over that. And you can see now we've got inside this local scope here, we've got number A and number B, which are both 0. And we're now going to call get number. So if I step into this, let's see if we can see what the fault's going to be. Okay, so step over that. Please enter a number. So if I put in the number 50, because I've stepped over it, it's going to exit out of this get numbers subprogram. If I put in 50, you'll see that we've got none appearing here. And the reason why we have none appearing here is because we have not returned a value. The difference between a function and a procedure is a function returns a value. So we're going to return number. And that number would have the number 50 in it. Okay, in this time. And it's going to get then be assigned to number A. Right? So that's the most common mistake. So this is the get number function. Okay, so procedure's just got a list of steps, no return, and a function returns a value. That's how the SQA want to think of it. That's exactly how we're going to think of it. Okay, so I'm going to get the number. I'll get number B, but I'm too lazy to type. So I think what we'll do is we'll just copy and paste. Go back to here, change that to B. Okay. We're then going to perform a calculation. So we'll have total equals calc number A, comma, number B. The accidental capital in there, just get rid of that. I'm just going to print the total. I could make it look nice, but we'll just print total just now, okay? So what would the calculation be? Well, the calculation, first of all, you'll notice I put these things here. These are the parameters. So what I'm going to do is I need to then put up here, define, calc, and I'm going to just use an A and a B. Now that's pretty bad form, but what I want to do is I want to show you that it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you call these here, okay? Because these then become the local variables inside the calc function. Okay, so, and I may as well initialize total at the same time. Okay, so these become this value. So let's have a little bit of a look and see what happens when we're doing it. So calc total, I need to do some form of calculation. So I think what I'll do is I'll just do a power thing. So I'll just return A to the power of B. Okay. So the whole thing now works. So if I do 4 and a 2, then it's 4 to the power of 2, which should give us 16. So a 4 and a 2 gives us 16. Right, but you're going pretty fast. How did that actually work? Well, let's debug and work through it. So we debug. Okay, I'm just going to step over. Now, it's not actually executing this. All it's doing is saying, look, this name stored at this location. Okay, so I'll step into here. And what I'll do is I'll step into for the first one for number A. All right. So we'll do step into here. So get number. Go up here. Please enter a number. So step into. So you'll see it says please enter a number. It then displays the prompt. If I put in the number 12, okay, so we can see that 12 is stored, and here we're going to return the 12. So 12 is getting handed out of this function. Okay. And when the 12 is then received by this function, so we now have number A equals 12. Right? I'm just going to step over the next one. And what I'll do is I'll give it a 2. And we can see that now that we have number A is 12 and number B is 2. So now when we come to do this bit and we call the function calc, so it gets the value for number A, the value for number B, and it passes those into the calc function, which is at this memory location here. Okay, and in here, the formal parameter A and the formal parameter B are given the value 12 and 2. So all we're going to do here is return 12 to the power of 2, which is 144. This is then passed to the print function. Now you know why it was always called the print function, where we're going to pass in this total, and we're going to display the answer 144, and our program is going to finish. Okay, so up here we have formal parameters. Okay, down here we have actual parameters. Now you'll sometimes hear these called arguments. These are the actual arguments. So you have an actual argument. So basically the argument is what's getting passed in. Okay, so we're passing in number A, number B. Okay, they're then getting stored in the local variables A and B. Not good names, only there so you can see that it's changed and it's working. The amazing thing about this is what we can then do is change one part of the program and it changes how the entire program works. So we've managed to get the numbers, but if I want to do a minimum max, if I want to do an input validation, so I'm going to go up here and I'm going to do while number less than 1 or number greater than 10. And spaces out to make it look pretty. And I do print I know what you're thinking. You don't get any warning, that was it. And I'm just going to copy this. But, you know, it's only so I can demonstrate this to you. So if I copy that here. So I'm doing the standard input validation, okay, where we've got ask, repeat, error, ask, or as we call it, area. Okay, so this is now input validation between 1 and 10. So if we're in the program now, if I try and put a number that's not between 1 and 10, like 20, for example, then it's going to display an error. 20. Number should be between 1 and 10, 4. And again, if I put in something that's not between 1 and 10, like 0, number should be between 1 and 10. So it's reusing the bit of code, just with different arguments. And therefore, we get 4 to the power of 2, which is 16. And we can go one better than that by passing in the minimum and maximum value. So if I pass in the minimum and maximum value, so I want to get here, I do min value and max val, do between min val, max val, and let's just tweak this a little bit. Min val, okay. So please enter a number and it's run. So now what happens is, the first instance, it was between 1 and 10. So if I put in 20, it should display that error again. 20. Oh, max val. Caught out by that sneaky little capital letter there. Look at that. Run that again. So if I put in 20, it's not allowed. So if I put in 8, okay. Oh. Oh, look what I did. Look, that's what I did right there. Too much of a hurry. Run that again. If I put in 20, it'll say there's an error. And if I put in, number should be 1 and 10, put in 4. So it's now 4, and it's now to the power of, and I said it could be anything between 0 and 4, I think it was. So if I put in 9 at this point, it said, no, you're not allowed to do that. So we'll do 4 to the power of 2. 4 to the power of 2 is 16. Okay? And you'll see what we've got is a way of creating a program now where, because we're using modularity, because we're using these functions, we are able to use the same bit of code that we can go and we can test over and over again within a program. And that's going to save us time in the long run, because I can now just save that block of code and I can store that block of code and reuse it in different programs each time. Okay, so a wee bit longer than expected, along with errors, but you know what? You're going to create errors when you're creating programs. There's nothing wrong with having a program which an error appears in it. The whole point of testing it is to find and fix the errors. And everyone makes the errors, right? Whether it be a syntax error, whether it be a capital, or whether it be a logical error of swapping these two round the wrong way. It simply happens. And it's not the end of the world. So, it's 20 minutes. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. This has been Functions and Parameters for SQA Higher Computing Science. Thanks. Bye-bye now.